This one officially puts us, actually, in hell. Hi, my name is Sydney, welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by PDS Debt. So everybody, I have once again been on the internet and have found some things that I wish I could delete from my memory. And because I am in fact your mama bird, I am going to once again vomit this terrible information into your faces. You know, I'm just feeding my little baby birds, which is all of you. I honestly feel a little bit bad for anybody who's new here and this might be the first video that they're watching, and it's me talking about vomiting into their mouth. So it's a bird reference. It's a bird. I'm the mama bird. You're the baby birds. And the vomit is news. It's news vomit. So I made a video very recently where I expressed the opinion that spicy content, particularly that which is posted on OF, is only going to get more and more extreme and psychotic as time wears on. Once again, OF being the website that is dedicated to singular fans, if you know what I mean. But I think as of late particularly, that point and that belief is being proved right over and over again. The last time I talked about this, I used the example of mattress actress Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue being locked in a competition of sorts to one-up the other. And Bonnie Blue was trying to play hide the sausage with teenage boys.
I'm gonna be sleeping with 23 barely legal 18-year-olds.
So come and get me on my knees and let me celebrate you getting into uni, boys.
I don't like this. Why are we this way? The whole thing was extremely weird, and honestly, I've tried to block it out. Actually, our friend Lily Phillips has gone viral again, just in the last couple weeks, for saying she started watching adult content at age 11 and believes that other young children should also watch this to learn.
Well, I think you should be learning from it from that age. I do believe that, because that's when you start to think about things like that.
But learning
maybe not
via
learning
pornography?
Yeah, maybe not learning from pornography, but I do think understanding it more from that age would be helpful.
That's gonna be a no from me there, champ. Although I can't say that I'm so surprised to hear this from the woman who recently did the backdoor challenge. I did tell you guys this is the Hell Gondola, and we are in fact on it. Or in it, if you're one of the people who thinks it's the suspended air version. Anyway, it's very clear for all to see that there is an acceleration in the amount of spicy content being posted online. And like I've already mentioned previously, in this quest to carve out more market share on these spicy platforms, the type of content being made and posted is only getting more and more extreme. But it's also getting really, really specific, and it's being made in such a way that it targets specific adult interests, if you will. And as AI is getting better and more sophisticated, we have officially entered a very, very disturbing period of time. Like, more so than usual. I know we've been here for a while. In my recent travels of the internet, I came across this article from back in mid-March headlined, "People are using AI to create influencers with Down syndrome who sell nudes." Yes, this is happening, and no, it's not a joke. But if nothing else, this is the complete encapsulation of what it means to live in 2025. I actually noticed this happening myself over the last 2 months or so, where these videos started popping up all over my Instagram feed, and I genuinely thought I was going mad. Many of these accounts have thousands of followers and tons of interaction, although I am guessing that the followers have been purchased, so I don't know if that makes it better or worse, do with that information what you will, but the content being posted is hypersexualized with hypersexualized captions, and almost all of this is being linked back to explicit adult content websites. Now, admittedly, when I first started seeing these videos myself, I thought this was a filter because they're getting very, very, very good. But then I dug a little deeper and I found that, as the aforementioned article explains, this Down syndrome face, these features, are part of the general practice of stealing real people's content and replacing the faces with AI-generated faces. Like this video, for example, showing a sexualized woman who appears to have Down syndrome, but this is the actual woman who made the original video. Or sometimes it just becomes AI inception because because I think this one woman is not real. I think she's AI made. But then they've gone ahead and given her a Down syndrome appearance as well. And this is bizarrely common. I just want to know who's captioning these videos. Syndrome is down, but peach booty is up. I don't know if that's peach booty. I'm gonna say peach booty because that's what that means to me. Down syndrome doesn't mean I can't give you what you want. Who is writing these? I don't know, guys. I've definitely told you about some questionable stuff during my travels of the internet over the years, but this is just... Stop the world! I want to get off. You know, I'm sure that there are a bunch of things that all of us would like to stop, particularly in our personal lives, like debt, which is why today's video is sponsored by PDS Debt. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think owing any amount of money is very stressful. I would know. I am still literally paying off my student loans. And I don't even have a cool medical degree. But for everyday hardworking people, being crushed by debt is debilitating, and it's on your mind all the time. But the good news is there is a way for you to take control and take your life back. Thanks to PDS Debt. PDS has helped tens of thousands of people with all sorts of debts. Credit card, personal loans, medical bills. They go beyond the raw numbers to understand your personal financial situation and then design a personalized plan specifically for you. Like I said, I genuinely do have quite a substantial amount in student loans, and thankfully I'm on a plan to pay that back in Australia. But if that debt was here in the US, it is very comforting to know that PDS Debt would be there to help me if I needed it. There is no minimum credit score required, and your initial assessment is absolutely free. And if you're skeptical, PDS is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, so they aren't some random schmoes up the road. They also have a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. So if you too want to take control of your life and your debt, then click the link in the description, scan the QR code on screen, or go to pdsdebt.com/Sydney to get your free assessment. That's pdsdebt.com/Sydney to get your free assessment. Anyway, when I first started looking into this, I was fully convinced that I was just gonna dunk on some OF girls and then go on my merry way. But the longer that I looked, the weirder all of this got and the more rabbit holes that I found, and I've just come to the conclusion that the internet is a mistake. As you can probably guess, as the creation of these AI-generated people and faces has gotten better and better, it's opened up a lot of money-making avenues. And so people have started making profiles that cater to really specific adult interests, if you know what I mean. Which again, all link back to payment platforms like Patreon and this new one called FanView. And actually, fun fact, OF has some strict rules around using AI on its platform. It bans deep fakes, doesn't allow purely AI-generated content, and you can't use real people and edit them without their permission. So once again, do with this information what you will. And as a bit of an aside, the AI-generated fetish content gets really specific and really weird. This account, for example, is full of completely AI-generated images of amputees because apparently that is an adult interest people have. I guess they like nubs. I mean, silver lining to all of you who are missing limbs right now. Apparently you're sitting on a bit of a gold mine. Lose an arm? Fields of diamonds. Even luckier for those of you with backwards facing feet. Okay, what am I looking at here? As expected, this particular Instagram account links to a payment platform and the subscription platform Patreon, where it has 500 subscribers. Here are the Ampute Girl fantasies brought to us by AI. Perfect English, no notes. 29 people are paying for this, and I don't know what to do with that information. So obviously, it's not like people having really, really obscure and specific and weird adult interests is even a new thing. What can I say? We've all been picking on the feet people for long enough. There was almost a reward for you all for being here, but then I realized that feet are hideous. When I was looking into this topic, I found entire Reddit threads of OF women discussing how much money they make posting videos and images to the platform while pregnant. There was even an article from 2022 that discussed a young British mother making almost $15,000 a month for posting videos of herself pumping breast milk. Someone even offered her $100,000 to breastfeed him. Just taking mummy issues to a whole new level. Some of you might even remember a woman I discussed a while ago called Diana Dietz, who went by the username Coconut Kitty, who would make spicy content and edit her face to look extremely young. She was accused of fan of the playground baiting and eventually ended her time here on this planet back in 2023. Sorry for all the euphemisms, YouTube is a pain in the butt. So all of this, both online and offline, has been around for a very long time. Where there is an audience, there will always be people to service it. But now, with advancements in AI and other technology, we are entering some very awful territory. While I was looking into this, there was a part of me that thought that maybe some women are involved in this and using their content to basically capitalize on this fetish for people who have Down syndrome. But now I am more or less convinced that this is a group of people or groups of people making fake women to extort money out of other people who are probably more than likely men. And here's why I say that. These accounts, these profiles, personas, all exist in what I can only describe as clusters. There will be these groupings of similar accounts, usually with some sort of similar name, and all the same stolen content, feeding back to either Telegram or, like I've mentioned, money-raising platforms and spicy platforms like FanView. Fun fact, FanView actually allows for AI-generated content if it is marked as such, which is terrible. When these accounts get banned, particularly on Instagram, they pop right back up with a new handle and new information. Two of the biggest accounts that you've probably seen floating around are called Maria Dopari and Truly Special Girl. Both accounts have been deleted from Instagram, but keep coming back like a disease. As the article I referenced earlier pointed out, after its deletion, the Maria Dopari account followed several other similar accounts with similar names that all posted the same stolen content, but with slightly different Down syndrome faces on the stolen videos. I was able to find the Maria Dopari X account and saw exactly this in action. These videos are supposed to be the same woman, but as you can see, sometimes she has different AI-edited facial features. And the same story goes for Truly Special Girl, who was one of 5 accounts all posting the same AI-altered content. So, It is diabolical to create a fake Down syndrome woman and then name her account Truly Special Girl. I'm not gonna lie, this is some bold stuff. Like, between the profile names and the psycho on the nose captions, whoever is doing this is going to hell. Stuff like this kind of makes me lose faith in humanity. Once again, during my travels on the internet, I found this same theme and this same pattern over and over and over again. One of the new clusters that has popped up recently is this persona called Liliana, and it's still quite small, so we'll see how this goes. This one, to me, is especially weird because the videos posted go from pretty normal TikTok dancing lady content to abruptly turning into AI-generated Down syndrome face. Like, this one video shows a normal lady, and then the very next video is the AI-generated Down syndrome features. And it's like, they're not even trying to hide it. It's also worth noting that I'm pretty sure that this woman isn't real either, so do with that what you will. Alarmingly, it's actually getting kind of hard to tell what is AI face and what is just someone filtering themselves into oblivion. Thankfully, you guys never have to worry about that with me. I'm ugly on purpose. A friendship. Okay, but seriously, I really like how whoever created this account decided that this woman would develop a serious chromosomal condition overnight. Yeah, they did that. Whoever made the Liliana persona went ahead and made another account that is exclusively videos with the Down syndrome features, and all of these videos have gotten infinitely more views. Like the others, both profiles link back to an Instagram that exclusively has the aforementioned Down syndrome face videos, except that these videos feature completely different women with very explicit captions. Interestingly, this Liliana situation doesn't link anywhere further just yet, so I'm not super sure what the play is, but there will be a play. Let me assure you. So more of the reasons why I don't think this is individual women doing this and is instead the act of scammers and spammers and whatnot has to do with Telegram, which is notoriously used by scammers. And this goes for the scammers who get in my comments and message those of you who then message me asking me if I told you to go to Telegram. No, I didn't. I don't have a Telegram. Please don't give those people money. They are not me. I would never do that to you. I try to sell you weird merchandise and tea. That's what I try to do, and I don't try to get random money from you on silly apps. So we have Telegram, which is notoriously used by scammers, but then you also have the fact that when these accounts get deleted and they come back up, they usually have new information about the woman that they're supposed to be representing. The name will change, the age will change, the location will change, basically all of the characteristics that a real person would probably want to maintain about their profile are gone. For example, the Maria Depari account recently got smacked down by Instagram, but has since popped back up under the new name Maria Vez. The new Maria Vez persona has 2 new Instagram accounts, which have conflicting ages, one saying that this creator is 21, while the other says 23. When I looked into the profiles further, I found that these accounts are all made within the last month and are based in France. They've also changed the account's handle several times, which is abnormal for accounts that are only a month old. They also all link back to the same fan view, well, the original fan view, I should say, and the original Telegram account. I don't want to get too in the weeds on the Maria Depari situation because, truth be told, it is a bit of a rabbit hole and I found some really weird stuff, but looking into that account actually led me to finding the woman whose content is being stolen and used in this way. And yes, I reached out to her, and no, as of filming this video, she has not gotten back to me, but the whole thing there is very odd and very confusing, and if she does reply, and I can look into this a little further if you guys want, I'll happily make a follow-up video. I actually had to ask my lovely thumbnail man, Giancarlo, if he wouldn't mind writing me a note in Spanish for her, and when I reached out to him, I was like, here's the thing, here's what I want you to write, and his response was basically just, I am so used to this from you, I'm not even gonna ask. He's a wonderful, tolerant human, so if you guys ever need any design work done, I'll link his website in the description because he's a good boy. Anyway, the other component here is that the profiles don't use the same people in the photos and videos. It's different women who are either real or who are fully AI generated, like this Clara Valdez persona. Again, the persona's Instagram has since been deleted, but I found its threads and fan view accounts. Videos and images like this, I think, are fully AI generated, but as you can see, this is just a bunch of stolen content from a bunch of different women. All of them are sexualized, and all of them are edited to look like they have Down syndrome. Now, this might be a stretch, but I find it really interesting that Maria Depari's new accounts are called Maria Vez, which feature a double Z, and the Clara account also spells its last name Valdez with a double Z. So it's pretty obvious why this specific issue is in fact an issue. And honestly, I think it opens the door to a bunch of different conversations. One being how people, like me to begin with, assumed that this is women making this kind of content and doing these things for clicks, which it isn't. But the more obvious conversations revolve around why AI is being used in this way, the victims who are having their content stolen and used like this, and how disabilities are being sexualized like this, because apparently there's a market for it. It is worth noting that on social media, there are several notable people who have Down syndrome who do make content about their lives and their experiences and all this fun stuff, and they've generated quite large followings of people who are just happy to see them succeed and live their lives. But that's obviously not remotely what we're seeing right now, and this AI generated stuff in this context is extremely extremely sinister. To be clear here, we are not talking about people exploring their quirks in some consensual way. We're talking about scammers and creeps using AI to exploit real women by stealing their content, slapping hypersexualized, fetishized faces on those women, and then profiting from it on platforms like FanView and Patreon. And even worse, they're targeting vulnerable communities, people with disabilities and other things who already face enough stigma without being turned into some gross fantasy for profit. The reality is that AI is getting better every day, and I think with that comes a degree of responsibility to use it ethically. Maybe that's the entire degree. But instead, we've got people out here creating personas like Marie DePari and Truly Special Girl, and using, once again, stolen content to make a profit while exploiting vulnerable communities and in a way almost mocking them. Ultimately, I am of the opinion that AI can and will be a great tool when used responsibly in the correct contexts. And an offshoot like this, for example, has a lot of very destructive capabilities for individuals and society as a whole. People already, when it comes to AI, have a really hard time distinguishing real faces from AI faces, and even I have to admit in this case, a lot of these videos got me. I was like, I'm not super sure what I'm looking at here. And so that in and of itself is a pretty alarming thing to consider, that we are having a hard time deciphering what's real and what's AI. So in the end, as long as we have AI and this type of application with deep fakes and AI generated faces, I do not see this issue going away or lessening anytime soon. And honestly, I do actually foresee this issue getting worse as time progresses, especially as AI gets more sophisticated and people have a harder and harder time distinguishing real from fake. Now, on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder: check out PDS Debt using the link in the description or scanning the QR code on screen. If this is something that you have issue with, it's worth checking out and getting your free assessment. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? I am very curious to hear your thoughts on this one. Are you on my side of this issue where you think this is creepy and wrong for a multitude of reasons? Are you on the other side of this issue where you just don't really see this is that big of a deal? It's maybe the natural progression of AI. This is a way of creating this kind of content without really hurting anybody. I disagree with that personally, but do you potentially think that? Do you think that it's predatory to do this to people who have disabilities? Do you think it's weird to be stealing people's content and putting someone else's face on top of it? Do you think this is normal? Do you think it's abnormal? Do you think it's setting us down a road that is going to get worse over time? Or do you think that this will eventually peter out and kind of just go away? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you'd like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Of course, I hope you wonderful, pretty people stay safe and well and make good choices, and I will see your beautiful little squidgy faces in the next video.